Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT. We got a special one for y'all tonight. NFL schedule's been released, but before we even talk about the NFL, Jason Tatum, he said humbly, I'm one of the best basketball players in the world. He had 3 points all the way up to the middle of the fourth quarter, then dropped 16 to force a game 7. Fellas, how y'all doing tonight? And what's y'all thoughts on that Celtics-Sixers series? Did the Sixers lose their best chance to win, man?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, they stole one in Boston. They dogged them. I thought that was it. Like you took their heart. And for most of this game, Boston looked like they were gonna win it again. And then Philly came back and I'm like, okay, they're about to take it from them again. But then Jason Tatum somehow came to life in the fourth quarter. Like the whole game, I'm watching him just take shot after shot and it's just off. Like something's off with him right now. He's had like 3 or 4 games in a row where I'm just like, who is this guy? This is not the guy who was an early MVP candidate this year. Like JB, he's not getting enough shots, but like Tatum's the guy. He's the guy to lead this team right now. And he took over in that fourth quarter and demoralized this team. Like Embiid had an up and down game, Harden, same thing. This was their best chance to get to the conference finals. Like they missed it against Toronto a few years ago with the process team. And with Harden on this team now, you would think this is a finals team if everything bounces the right way. But right now, I'm thinking going back to Boston, I don't really see Tatum and Jalen Brown letting this last too much longer. Like they're going to attack right off the bat.
Yo, who is this more on? Like, is this another situation where Doc Rivers gets out coached, he loses a lead, or I'm pretty sure he'll come up in conversation as a reason for why they aren't advancing. But is this a James Harden type of situation again that's preventing a team from succeeding in the playoffs?
I think it's as much personnel as it is on Doc Rivers. I that's really the way I feel. I think while I watch James Harden, he's up and down. His performance is up and down. He has one good game, which is great. I mean, his great games are super high. The high moments are great, then the lows are low. He has no burst one day, burst the next day, can make shots one day and can't make shots the next day. So it's up and down. And then Embiid, just lack of assertiveness down the stretch. It says a lot when you watch Jokic on the other side playing as the Suns having his way. Not just as a scorer, but as a passer, dominating the game. So it just looks really bad. It just looks really bad. And you can blame Embiid, you can blame Harden, you can blame Doc. But if I'm going to blame people more, if I'm going to assign blame, I'm assigning blame primarily to Harden and Embiid. I think it's on them. I think their play fluctuating the way it has is the reason why they're not winning this series. And if they had this, I mean, mainly Embiid. I don't expect much from Harden. I'll be honest with you guys. But if Embiid decides he wants to go win a basketball game, he's that good and he can. But he's not assertive. And maybe it's the injury. Fine, you want to give him that out? You can give him that out. That's fine. Give him that way. But he's playing, and I think he can dominate. He can assert himself. He didn't always have Horford guarding him. I saw a play where Malcolm Brogdon's guarding him, and Malcolm Brogdon is having his way, pushing him out of the paint. He made the jump shot, but Embiid didn't get to where he wanted to go. He didn't get to the basket. So it says a lot about him. It says a lot about him. I think this falls at his feet, and he's going to end up leaving this situation if he leaves Philly, and he'll be like, looking for another situation to get into where he thinks he can be surrounded by a team that can win around him. But at the end of the day, he has to look at himself in the mirror, because this is as much about you as it is about any of your circumstances in Philly. You can't blame Ben Simmons. You can't blame none of the other guys. This is ridiculous. This is your best chance to go to the finals, and you're really going to blow it.
Yo, I know it's not a popular conversation. I know it's probably not something popular to say. I think if you switch the teams, Nikola figures a way out to win this game.
100%.
I'm glad Embiid got his MVP, but Nikola Jokic, hands down, especially after seeing, 53, 56 points he had?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it anywhere, even with him selectively playing defense sometimes. Nikola Jokic is a whole tier above Joel Embiid. is just point blank period. Even looking at tonight, just look at the box score. He had 1 assist, Joel Embiid. Maybe that's what's lacking because Jokic is going to get his 27, 28, 14, 15 boards, and he's getting 8, 7 assists. So that's making his teammates better. Joel Embiid, we can't say that he makes his teammates better. And he settles way too much to what Greg was saying. There's too many jump shots he's settling for. Malcolm Brogdon, and you get a jump shot?
Crazy. No, I mean, Embiid deserved MVP this year, but he's not the better player. And I don't even think it's that close, to be honest. I think Jokic is that much better. And it's not being a prisoner of the moment. When you add in his ability, Jokic's ability to score with his passing ability, he's a better player. He just is. I mean, defensively, you obviously have his concerns about him. And I think Denver's doing a good job hiding him. I think he's playing better defensively now, too. I think he has to get some credit. Maybe he just doesn't try in the regular season. That's why it looks that bad. And it's probably a lot of that. But now that you see him putting some effort in on defensive end, it's just over. It's a wrap. Like he's clearly the best center in the league, the best big in the league. Well, when AD wants to turn it on, there's a conversation to be had, I guess. But I think so. I think AD is the best defensive center in the league, so you got to give him some love in the conversation, right? But Jokic is the best center in basketball. So I can't wait for an AD Jokic matchup. Everyone's talking about, I heard people saying, yeah, we're going to get the Joel Embiid versus Jokic finals. And that's going to be this. We're going to get to decide who's the best center, seeing them go one-on-one. That is not what you're going to get. That's not going to happen. I had no faith in Philly. Even with 3-2 lead, I still think Boston was going to take a game here. And it's not even like Boston's playing well. They're like, this is the year to beat Boston. Jaylen Brown is like, doesn't even get the ball down the stretch. It's just Jason Tatum. They're just force-feeding Jason Tatum the ball, and hoping he saves them. And it's very strange watching that dynamic play out in real time. Very weird. But I won't go too much into depth with that. I'm sure we're gonna, talk more about it. But it's just interesting to see it all play out.
Man, looking at it, it's just like if he stays at this rate of what he's doing, especially in the playoffs, we could be talking about in 15, 20 years, Nikola is a top 10, top 5 big man of all time.
Yeah.
There's not many big men in history that's doing what he's doing on every facet on the offense. And like you said, it could be, hey, playoff time, I'm like Jimmy Butler. I'm going to play defense now once it's playoffs. That could be the situation. I'm watching the game, like that conversation of Nikola and Embiid has to stop. It's Nikola hands down. On the flip side, the Celtics are winning, but like you said, Celtics don't even look good. It doesn't look good. I want them to lose so we could start figuring out this blow up of the team because it's not going to work in the long term. What do y'all see from the Celtics? Because both of those teams, honestly, if either of them win that game 7, I might still choose Heat or the Knicks to beat them in that next round.
I don't know. I'll do a mouse going to go or not. but yeah, I think that I think the Heat are going to beat them. Come on, let's be real. Let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest. What's that? Let's be honest, bro. Like,
let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be real. Who made Des Low or something? Yeah, yeah.
Days Low. Woo! Throwback.
That's a throwback. Nah, man. I think the Heat are going to win that series, but that's a whole different conversation. I think Miles knows that too. Let's keep it a stack.
No, I don't know that.
Oh my God. All right. Well, all right, bro. Well, look, either one of those two teams, since Miles still thinks the Knicks would win, could give the Celtics a very hard time in one case, and in the other case, beat them. I don't think the Knicks would beat them in a 7-game series. I'm just being honest. I don't see it. But I do think the Heat could beat them in a 7-game series and get back to the finals. I do believe that. I just think they know what they're doing. I think they have more organization in terms of where they're gonna go to get buckets on the stretch. Obviously, it's Jimmy, and everybody knows their role. Everybody knows their role. They operate as a unit, is cohesive, as opposed to Boston, where again you have an All NBA guy in Jaylen Brown. You're only getting like 15 shots a game. Maybe he touches 20 if he's lucky on given nights. Because of that kind of confusion on the team. I mean, it looks like sometimes like Malcolm Brogdon's taking more shots than Jaylen Brown. if you have that kind of situation on your team, I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. You're not a serious championship contender. This year is a very weird year where you could stumble into the finals, but any team you see on the Western Conference is going to beat you handily if you're not figuring out how to get Jaylen Brown more shots. So and then Robert Williams not playing as well. Grant Williams isn't even a part of the rotation most nights. When last year he played 30 minutes a game. So it's just really weird with Boston. They don't have their stuff together. And I can't see them, beating a team from the Western Conference in the finals, let alone making it there. And all seriousness, if the Knicks did, miraculously win in 7, then they probably would give the Celtics a series. I mean, it could go 7 games, 6-7 games. Like it would be a serious series where it'd be a lot of bloodshed. So, I just don't believe in the Celtics. I don't know. I don't see it. I'll let Miles get his piece and I know,
Well, you know what? I think the Celtics, they can make another finals run. I mean, this team, they're not clicking right now, but the fact that they're 1 win away from another conference finals trip, playing maybe at 60% of what they're capable of, says something. So I think they should beat Philly on Sunday. I mean, I'm not gonna guarantee it, but I think we both know that Harden in a game 7, I'm not expecting him to put up 40 and win this game for them. So I'm expecting Boston to be there in the conference finals. And then on the other side, with the two teams that, seem to be a little lopsided for some people out there, I think we're taking it one game at a time. We won in New York yesterday. We're going to come into Miami and we got to play with that same intensity. That's the thing. This team, we can win the next 2 games, but the key is Randall playing like he did in the second half, where he's not forcing shots, where he's looking to pass it, where he's taking smart shots and not chucking up threes. So I think if we get Jalen Brunson from last game, the Randall from last game, and I mean RJ's been, besides Brunson, the most consistent on this team. I think we can win and bring it back home for game 7. I know that's what's gonna happen.
Mm.
Hey, if y'all get it back to MSG, I'd have to go Knicks. If they get it back to MSG, a game 7 at Madison Square Garden. Nah, that's gonna be bananas. That's gonna be bananas, bruh. And I guarantee you.
I'm gonna trip Jimmy Butler myself.
That's what it's gonna take.
It's not gonna take that much.
It's gonna take foul play.
Are we buying or selling that RJ Barrett has figured it out? That he's the switch has flipped. Now he's gonna be consistently putting out numbers like this.
I believe it. I want to hear Greg though. 'Cause you know me, I believe it. I've been a believer.
I was saying it's a Knicks fan that be at the gym with us at the Y. I think it's something to be said that RJ Barrett is playing his best ball when it matters the most. He had an up and down regular season, but for him to be playing his best ball now in the second round, not the first, the second round, especially when Julius Randle's been up and down, it gives you that luxury for Julius Randle to be Julius Randle.
That's true.
If you got RJ playing like this, Julius, you could give us 10-1 game, 5 fouls. We got RJ, we got Josh Hart doing their part. Quentin Grimes getting big steals, big threes. You can be Julius.
I think it's all in the matchup. That's why I think it really is, because I think, he's confident right now. So it could stick. 3-point shooting could stick. It's all about 3-point shooting for me. The driving downhill, getting to the basket, he's good at that. But obviously that's a matchup based thing. I think he played well against Boston when they matched up earlier this year. So, was it, and that was a pretty intense game. So I can take that from that game. I feel like he may have turned the corner and maybe it may be more consistent. But I think it's in the matchup too. I think Miami, you're throwing Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent at him, and he's gonna kill those guys. So he's gaining confidence because he's taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of him, and I got to give him credit for that. he could easily have Duncan Robinson in front of him and not be killing, right? And as hard as that is to do, because Duncan Robinson's a walking cone, you got to be who's in front of you. So he deserves credit for that, and he's making shots. He's making shots right now. So one of the more consistent players on the team right now for sure. And Julius Randle's the one getting all the bows and arrows from New York, not him. Whatever that's worth. So he's playing good ball. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him for now. We'll see how the next series go if they can get there. I'm talking like there's actually a real chance. Miles hasn't convinced me. I think that Jimmy and them are going to take care of business on just like the Lakers are going to take care of business. I think both series end. I don't think there's going to be a game 7 in any series. But I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here. I just don't think there's going to be another game. I don't think there's going to be any game 7s. And as you can see from this Phoenix game right now, there definitely won't be a game 7 here. And Kevin Durant is going out quietly into the night.
So is Boston playing game 8 or?
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I forgot about it. It's so funny. Game 8. I forgot. That series has not had my attention. I'll be very honest. I just watched that game and I already forgot they're in game 7. It's so inconsequential to me. Any series of consequence will not be in game 7. So kind of the way I view it right now, but we'll see.
Hey, shout out to Mitch Robinson. 5 out of 7 from the free throw line in the 4th. That was huge.
That was big. That
was huge. I didn't expect that from Mitch. That was big, 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 big time. Because if he didn't knock those down, we talking about Jalen Brunson. He'll be on the bench mob explaining, what could have been.
Yo, because Tibbs almost got outcoached there. Because, of course, he's the worst free throw shooter probably in the playoffs right now. He shoots like on a perfect straight line at the basket. So it's like, if it doesn't go in swish, it's not going in. And they were about to keep doing that until the 2 minutes were up. And Tibbs wasn't going to check him out. You weren't going to foul to get him out the game. So it was clutch that he hit those free throws because
if he had missed them, you guys would be killing Tibbs today. Yeah. And rightfully so.
Hey, I think he still needs to be killed because I was listening to, I think it was Antonio Daniels was explaining it. What makes Ty Lue probably the top 2 coaches is they're not stuck to their system. They see who they have and try to put their players in their best position to succeed, which is why you can see in Miami, Jimmy Butler's not playing. They still almost win the game because Coach Spo changes and all right, we don't have Jimmy. I'm going to use everybody that we need to use tonight in their best position for them to succeed. Everybody keeps asking Bam to go average 30. On this team, your role, Bam, is not to go average 30. I'm putting you in your best position to succeed. If Bam tried to go average 30, I don't think he could do it, which the Heat know, which Spo knows. So I'll put you in that position to succeed. Ty Lue does the same thing. He just don't have players to show up. They injured on him. Got this man missing funerals and whatnot. People that don't want to suit up.
Yep. Says more about him than the guys who don't want to suit up, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If y'all don't want to, I don't care. Y'all don't care. I don't care. I'm going to the funerals. What? I guess he had a mindset. I'll see them in heaven. I guess that.
Oh my God.
That got to be the only way that makes sense. You don't go to the funeral of family members to go coach these jokers that's not even playing?
Maybe he didn't like them.
That could be the thing too. But I'm thinking maybe I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt. Maybe
you're giving him a very wholesome excuse for why he's missing it.
Yeah, I see Granny Mama later.
No man of God has veneers like that.
Yo, so Lakers, Golden State. I think it's safe to say, I don't know how Miles feel. I think it ends tomorrow, and then I don't think it ends. I think it ends the dynasty, but it doesn't break that team up though.
Wow. I mean, who's
at least one more year because Marcus Thompson, I was listening to him. He was saying, by all accounts, Draymond wants to stay. He's not going to have to. He doesn't have that in him to have that conversation to tell Steph after everything they've been through. I'm leaving. So I think Draymond stays.
If the Warriors want him back, do we know for sure the Warriors want him back? Is the real question. He's done
Hey,
enough shenanigans this year to where maybe. I mean, look, he played a great game last night. Probably the best game I've seen him play since like game 6 or 7 against the Cavs a few years ago. One of those finals. But I mean, to not have done that the entire series and to wait until your back's against the wall in game, it's 5, it's utterly ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. What a ridiculous situation to put your team in, not being aggressive in that way. And again, I think, it's funny. I think he's going to fluctuate. I don't think he'll play as well next game. You can't bank on that from him. Not at this point in his career. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll have that jet on his back the way he did in the next game. So, I mean, moral of the story, I just don't know that they'll want him back. I don't really want Clay back. Why? Clay's performances in the playoffs have been just tough to watch. And it's in the burst. It's in his athleticism. It's clearly declined. And you see it in his shot just a little bit, just flat. Certain looks, not getting open. Right? The Lakers do a great job of contesting shots. I thought last night the Lakers, defensively never got into that second gear. Never did. But when they get in that second gear, the Warriors don't score for long stretches of time in the game. And it's all of them. It's Steph. It's all of them, right? So it'll be really interesting to see what they do with this team, because that Lakers team theoretically could stay exactly the same and they won't go anywhere. And they'll have a healthy LeBron James moving forward, right? And healthy LeBron James was averaging like 35 points a game in January, right? And 30 on the season. So scary still. So a lot of questions there. I think it really lies in what they could trade for. What can you trade for? What can you leverage Jordan Poole into something valuable? I think he's going to be gone. If you keep Draymond, he's gone. That's the way I see it. You keep the older guys, the senior citizens, Jordan Poole will be on his way out for sure. Guys like that.
They got to keep Steph happy though.
Kuminga. Well, he didn't want them to. He didn't want the young guys.
That's what I'm saying in regards of. That's the only reason why Draymond might be back.
Yeah.
Because if they let Draymond walk, Steph might be like, all right, y'all obviously are telling me, because if they let Draymond walk, think about it. You've said this plenty of times on the show. Draymond Green, just as much as Steph Curry, gives them the best opportunity to actually win.
Yeah.
So if you let Draymond go and you telling me that we're going to get somebody in the draft, we're going to get this young piece, you're telling Steph, we're not looking to win another championship for a while. True. And you can't tell Steph, who's still nobody else is showing up for the Warriors. He still is actually playing pretty decent ball by himself.
Yeah.
It's not like he's Klay Thompson. Steph didn't fall off a cliff somewhere.
That's a good point.
I feel like at some point they got to trust some of these young guys. Like, I like Moses Moody. I think he's probably their best young player moving forward. But I think he's the replacement for Klay if they go that route. Because I like his jumper. I think he's more athletic at this point. And he does play pretty good defense. So I think if they're going to move off of anybody, it's Klay. Because, I mean, being able to shoot threes, but you're a liability on defense, that's not going to help them moving forward. Like Draymond, that's hard to replace. Somebody who's able to switch 1 through 5 pretty well still. And the way he runs this offense, I mean, that's basically how they want it to be run with Draymond, with all these screens and whatnot. And the way he played in the last game, who knows if he can play like that again? Like, he was playing with great pace, pushing the ball. He's looking for his shot. Like, when do you ever see Draymond look for his shot? I haven't seen that since rookie summer league from him. And that was how long ago? That was like 10 years ago. So we'll see. But Lakers, they got to end it tomorrow. Yeah. I don't think they want to go back to Oracle or whatever it's called, the Bikini Bottom, something. But they definitely don't want to go back there for a Game 7. They got to end it here. And I think LeBron's going to get it done. Depends on how AD plays, though. Is he still, feeling the after effects of the right hook?
Hey, you said it right. You said it right the first time. It's going to happen because of Bron. As I said in the chat, I put my faith in Jesus. I can never put my faith in Anthony Davis.
I think he's going to play really well tomorrow. I think 80's going to have a 30, 15, 30, 20 game tomorrow. I do believe that. And
That would be smart. That's the every other game.
well, it's yeah. He didn't play bad up until the point he got hurt. He just got hurt, right? I think he actually had a good game last game, and for me, I think the motivation's gonna come from everything that's happened since he's gotten hurt. Charles Barkley, Shaq laughing at him, Stephen A. Smith going on TV today and making a fool out of him, right?
He doesn't watch TV though. He doesn't go on social
So
media.
I had someone else say that to me. You know for a fact he knows though. You know he knows. You know he
Hey.
knows what's going on.
You know he knows because the game that they won, that Joker told Chris Haynes, yeah, tell him about that ish.
Mm-hmm.
What are you telling him about, Chris? Like
Mm-hmm.
AD, what are you telling? I thought somebody, even if he doesn't watch TV, he doesn't social media, somebody's telling you, AD.
Someone told him.
Like, come on.
I mean, you saw his pops. You saw his pops talking to Stephen A. before.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it was a good conversation. So
no. And Stephen A. Smith, before he went on his rant this morning, this is how disrespectful he is. He went on and said, "Oh yeah, I spoke to someone from Anthony Davis's camp who will not be named." So anybody who saw the clip knows that was Anthony Davis's dad who spoke to him after the game. I think it was game 1 or whatever. And for him to go out, acknowledge the fact that he spoke to his father on national TV, and for that to be the thing that comes out of your mouth after acknowledging you spoke to his father, that's pretty crazy to me. Yeah, you really don't care. Now, this ain't a Stephen A. Smith conversation, but I do think the Lakers end this tomorrow. I think AD plays a big game. I think AD plays inspired basketball. I think he's in attack mode the entire game from start to finish, and I think LeBron will more than chip in, and he's motivated. And I think he'll get his first 30-point game of the series. He'll play his best game of the series tomorrow night. I believe he's going to come out with an urgency to get
sidebar. Nuggets are spanking these boys.
Yo. Yeah, it's like they are by 30, right?
Oh, this is crazy.
72-45 last I checked.
So what does it mean for Kevin Durant's legacy?
It's 79-49.
What does this mean for KD's legacy? That's the question we have to ask, man. That's the question. What does it mean for Kevin Durant's legacy that he's bounced around and everywhere he goes, if it's not ready-made, if it's not, DiGiorno pizza, just throw it in the oven and it's ready to eat, that he's not going to go win a championship? What does it mean? Because apparently
hurts him. Definitely hurts him.
Yeah, it's got to.
Clear number 2 on this team, and they're getting spanked like they did last year.
They need him to step into the number 1 role. They need him to do it. D Book is emptied the clip. He emptied the clip in this series, and man, KD's a gun jammed. It jammed. He shot a fire. It jammed back. It got blast back. So his gun farted.
And that trade is gonna look so bad now, because you traded 2 really good young pieces in Cam Johnson and McCall.
Special.
And you gave up what, 4 first-round picks?
Yep. Yep.
They're gonna regret this real quick.
Because how do you get better? What's the path to getting better? I argue that adding Kyrie to this team does not make them that much better. I really do, because that's not their problem. Their problem is depth. Their problem is not adding their star. They need to add guys who can help them win. Plus, in the new CBA, it's going to be really hard to add Kyrie at max money anyways. How do you do it? Having 3 stars is really hard to do with the new CBA. So I don't see how it's possible. The only path forward for them is getting guys like Gary Payton and guys like Gary Payton Jr. and guys, not that he's available, but just guys like that, right? Who can help you win and are marginal players. And I just don't understand, what they do.
They got to flip Chris Paul and they got to flip Ayton. Like
you can't flip Chris Paul's contract. You have an opt-out in his contract. What are you going to trade him for? Bag of chips?
You got to do something. You can't just.
They don't have assets to trade. They traded their assets. DeAndre Ayton's going to get traded, so you can trade him. Fine. See what you can get back for him. He's the softest, dark-skinned man I ever seen in my life.
Hey, at least he knew what was going to happen. He said, "My ribs hurt. I'm not playing tonight."
Ridiculous.
Once I saw that, I knew it was going to be bad. Like he wasn't stopping Nikola at all. But no Ayton, and you had Landale guarding Nikola.
That speaks to the depth that they got, because it's him and Biyombo. Not very, scary. I'm not afraid of those guys.
No. And they're playing TJ Warren like he's like he's, the second coming of Michael Jordan. He's getting 40 minutes a game. TJ Warren,
I know
Bubble Jesus.
he was snuck in that trade. They kicked him out.
Hey, you can take this guy too.
Hey, before we transition, right? When we ended off, is Denver really a legitimate championship contender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very, very good. They can be beat. They're very, very good. I think the best team left in the playoffs, if you want to look at it from a very technical perspective. For me, I think if the Lakers match up very well with them, and I'm excited to see that matchup. And I need the Lakers to end this series and end the pro Warriors narrative that's going on in the media right now, where they're force feeding us this nonsense, where they're acting as if the Warriors are the better team and they've been the better team all along. And I know I'm getting on a tangent, but it just bothers me how guys like Colin Coward and them dudes go on TV, Stephen A. Smith go on TV. Even Legler to some extent, Tim Legler, who I respect, go on TV and they talking about how the Warriors they just act as if the Warriors, it's a fluke that the Warriors are losing to the Lakers, that it wasn't supposed to happen this way. And they're not acknowledging the fact that the Warriors won like 10 road games all year, and that they've been erratic all year and that they beat a bunch of babies that, De'Aaron Fox and those guys are still in Pampers and they went and beat them in a 7-game series. And it took all 7 games to do it. And now we're acting as if they're definitively this team. They're definitively the dynasty they've always been. They're not. The context of this is that LeBron's going to outlast their dynasty they created to beat him. He's going to outlast it. When he beats them tomorrow, it's a symbolic victory in his career. He's outlasted a dynasty that started in 2014, 2015, right? So we're almost 9 years to the year that it started, and LeBron's about to beat them and end that dynasty as we know it forever because they're gonna have to retool. He outlasted them. That's insane, And so, I know I took it on a tangent. It is about Denver, but I also took it on a tangent because no one cares about Denver. That's what people do, right? When you talk about Denver, no one cares. If Denver goes to the finals, the lowest finals ratings of all time, no one cares. That's what's gonna happen. Right. I think everyone knows that, including the league office. They're aware. Are they a good team? Yes. Do they play basketball the right way? Yes. Is Jokic a great player? Absolutely. Do I think they're going to win the NBA championship? No. I think the Lakers would beat them in a 7-game series. I think the Lakers would beat them in 6. That's kind of the way I see it. I think the Lakers could win every series in this playoff run in 6. I think AD would have his way in a series against Jokic. I'm very excited to see it. Jokic is great. But I think AD has matched it very well with him. So we'll see.
I think Jokic still gets busy.
He will. Yeah.
It's just Denver.
Well,
I'm not trusting in the biggest of moments. Michael Porter Jr., we've seen in this series, it shouldn't really even be 6.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Denver really could have, if Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray showed up every single game, Aaron Gordon showed up every single game, they really could have swept Phoenix. They really could have swept them 4-0.
Yep.
So in that regard, on an even bigger stage where you're talking about getting to the finals, I feel that's always been an issue with Denver, period. Who else is going to show up consistently and help out Nikola?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the bubble, we ain't seen the same Murray.
Yeah.
And Michael Porter Jr.
He just shoots everything he touches.
This team is deep, though. Like
they are deep.
KCP is so underrated.
Yeah, he want to play Michael Jordan now when he leaves the Lakers. I think it's so funny. Now he want to go up and under and reverse to the basket and all this stuff. The Lakers can barely make a shot. That championship run, he was good for them in the bubble, but it's.
And Bruce Brown too. Bruce Brown is one of the more underrated pickups in the offseason. Like you could see his game in Brooklyn alongside those stars, and he didn't need much to be able to give you quality minutes. And he's doing the same thing in Denver. And I think he's a big part of why they are where they are.
Yeah, I agree. I just think the Lakers defensively, when they get to that second gear, no one can touch it. I think they're the best defensive team left in the playoffs by a wide margin. I really believe that. And I think they see Denver, they're going to beat them in 6. And I think because of their defense, it's going to be because of their defensive tenacity. The way that Denver plays is a move offense, like a movement offense. So it's like the Warriors, but then they're not predicated on threes. They'll get cuts to the baskets and things like that. And Jokic is hitting cutters, and they're very movement oriented. I think the Lakers do a great job plastering the cutters and switching in the half court. And I just think it would give them problems. And they're much bigger than Phoenix is. So on the glass, it's a much more even battle, if not leaning the Lakers' way. So that's the reason why I think the Lakers would beat them. I mean, just being honest, I think it's the defense. Their defense is elite. And I think tomorrow night you'll see an elite defensive performance from them tomorrow night because 121 is not who they are, allowing 121. So that's where I'm coming from with that. But can Denver get to the finals and win it? Of course they can. Does that mean anybody wants to see it? Hell no.
Nah, I definitely don't want to see it.
Bro,
That would be pretty. Because we have the show, I'll have to watch it, but it would be
damn.
so.
I
It would be
can't promise you I'm gonna watch that series, bro. Even for the show, y'all not that important to me. Talking about the people who be commenting on Instagram, y'all are definitely not important to me.
Speaking of possible elite defenses, the New York Jets, the NFL schedule has been released. They are predicted already. They're projected to go 10-7 this upcoming season. How do we see the Jets now that the schedule is out? How do we see the Jets season going?
Well, you know who this question's really for.
Yeah,
Huh?
this is for me. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, I can give you my thoughts. I can tell you, and it'd be the truth. But I'll let you go first.
It'd be the truth. How you gonna predict what's gonna happen in May?
I'm gonna tell you. You're about to attempt to do the same thing. What you?
Because I already know what's happening. You're not a Jets fan, so you don't know.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm very aware what's about to happen.
No,
So
for
wait.
the team, I think the first 6 games, it's tough. It's a tough stretch right here. If we can start that off at least 4-2, I think we're in a good spot. Because we got Bills Monday night, 9/11, things are going down
That is such a bad.
the game, something's happening on that day. As
Why
far
you
as like
saying it like that?
Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, that's what I meant. Because not many times do you get a chance to see 2 superstars like that
Yeah, that's the second
head
week
to
in a
head.
row.
going head to head. And then the following week we got Jets Cowboys. I think that's a very winnable game. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's going to go in our favor. Patriots, I'm expecting us to sweep them. I think they can take advantage of bums like Zach Wilson, and I mean Sam wasn't a bum, but he was given trouble by who, Bill Belichick. But we got Aaron Rodgers now, so I'm not worried about Bill. But then that Chiefs Jets game, that's a tough one. That one's going to be a lot tougher, and we're going to see the character of this team, because you're going to have to bounce back if you lose some of these games and come right back as if nothing happened. I think that game's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it could be a shootout, and behind that Jets crowd, you never know. But I would lean Chiefs there. Jets Broncos, we'll ride out. Jets Eagles, that one's a little tougher too. Chiefs Eagles, those are going to be 2 games those are going to be a good test. Those 2 teams were in the Super Bowl last year, so if we can keep it close, if we can get a win out of one of those 2 games, I'll be happy. And then that back end of the schedule, it's really favorable.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of light.
Yeah, it's just getting through week 6, because then after that we got the Giants, we got the Chargers. I like our odds against the Chargers. I mean, we saw what they did against Jaguars, and
Oh, come on, yo. You're just. So the Jets are never going to lose games.
I didn't say that. I think we might lose that second game against the Bills in Buffalo.
We think we
Might.
might lose to the Buffalo Bills, who are a great
We
team.
got Aaron Rodgers, baby. We could go 17.
What does that mean?
We go 17-0 if we're
So
really being honest.
He's going to be markedly better this year than he was last year. Aaron Rodgers is going to be that much better than he was last year. Okay, can I?
Yo, are you really comparing a checked out Rodgers to this year?
No,
he's motivated.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of what does that even mean? Look.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Look. The bet that and Tone will agree with this. I know for a fact he will. If the Jets are going to be as good as they could be, they have to run the ball more than they throw it. That's my personal opinion. We run the ball with Breece Hall. get the offensive line moving, do that power gap scheme I like to do, and then gash teams up all day. If y'all don't run the ball more than y'all throw it, and you're relying on Aaron Rodgers to drop back 40 times in games,
We're not going to be doing that because we're going to be playing with a lead most of the games.
Okay. He talking crazy.
I'm talking crazy.
You're talking.
D-line, top 3. Our corners, top 3. That's the key to a defense. You need the back end and the front line to be in sync.
I'm not saying the defense is great. You guys have a very, very, very good defense. You do. You absolutely do. I'm just saying you're acting as if you're going to get off this quick start throwing the football with Aaron Rodgers when he just got here. He just got here. You think it's going to be that quick? I know it's the same offense.
He just got here in April. He didn't just get here in August. Well, it's not like he's having to learn all this on the fly.
Okay. They better run the ball more than they throw it. That's all I'm gonna say to you. That is going to dictate a lot of how this season goes. And if you're playing from ahead anyways, then you should be running. Like you say, you should be running it. But I don't think you think it's sweet. I just wait, because you're not the only good defense in the AFC.
True.
Okay.
Not everybody has Aaron Rodgers, so
y'all play the Eagles. You're not gonna be able to do that. You're not gonna be able to rest them some. Well, you're gonna have the lead because we're gonna shut them down unless your Jalen Hurts goes back to what he was before, which I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, so, and he had the best whole line in football. So good luck.
Now you want to believe in Jalen Hurts, man.
I'm just Jalen Hurts has earned. Jalen Hurts has earned the right to not be made fun of by me. I think he's earned it.
This guy was a year ago saying him and Daniel Jones, it's a toss up.
At the time, it was he hadn't earned it yet. And Daniel Jones is about to close some gaps. Not between him and Jalen Hurts necessarily, but the Dak Prescott conversation about to get real sticky.
So he's getting braces? Is that what you're saying? He's getting braces?
Shut up.
That's the only gap I see.
He's about to
be top 15
on Dak. The conversation between who's better between Dak and Daniel Jones is about to get real sticky after this season. Just wait. You gave Daniel Jones some. What?
That's gonna be a real sad conversation.
Why?
Dak is not as good as people make him seem. Like he's
Dak.
Yeah, he's regular season good.
Well, Daniel Jones is postseason good. We saw what he did last year in the playoffs. He's postseason.
That Philly game was real nice.
Yeah, shut up.
So what you predicting? Vegas got y'all at 10-7. How many wins y'all getting?
I'm saying 12-5.
That's aggressive.
It's aggressive.
That's aggressive.
I'm lowballing
right. So y'all better than.
I'm thinking like you. I'm like, oh, I can't pick everybody to win. So I'm lowballing it right now.
Yo, they're gonna be better than the Bills. The Jets.
Yeah, we are gonna be better than the Bills.
Wow.
Yo, no, keep that same energy, because when it happens, I don't want to be like, yo.
Didn't you pick the Jets to win like 11 games last year or something like that?
Who?
You did. You came here and picked them to win like 11 games. You did.
That's not my fault that Zach Wilson. We had Zach
Wilson. It's your fault.
We had the Mormon Barbie out here just doing nothing. Nothing. I want to burn that headband that he wears, because he did nothing for us.
Well, he's still part of
the Jaguars at home.
Jaguars are not bad.
What?
Jaguars weren't bad. They weren't bad. The kid Lawrence came alive.
Against our defense, we gave up 17 points. Are you telling me if you give up 17 points, you shouldn't win? We put up like 3 points in that game. I don't even want to talk about that guy. He's not playing for us, hopefully, ever.
He's a part of the plan. The plan is for Aaron Rodgers to take on his graceful wing.
BS. I'm calling BS on that. I'm saying he's here for now because who's going to take that contract? Nobody's going to take that contract and pay him $10 million to be a backup. So they're forced to be stuck with him and make do with what they've got and maybe fix him. But I don't see them fixing him. We're going to roll with him after 6 years of being what he is. So he's going to be 27 and we're going to roll with him once Aaron Rodgers is done. I call bulls, you know what, on that. Because I don't see it happening. I don't see us. He's not the quarterback of the future. He's the backup of the future.
Oh, boy. I mean, look, I tend to agree with you. I'm just saying, he's definitely got some talent. So maybe they can turn this thing around. Who knows? Even whether they do or don't, if you don't win a championship in the Aaron Rodgers era, it's a failure. So there's that conversation to be had. And if they're not running the ball more than they throw it, they're making a mistake. That's all I'm going to say. Just remember I said this.
But I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I don't think they should throw it 45 times a game. That was what they were doing with Joe Flacco, and that didn't work out. I think the key to success is, like you said, Brees Hall. He's going to be close to 100% by week 1. We drafted this kid out of Pitt. So we got a nice 1-2. If Michael Carter can play better, 1-2-3 combo, and the line can hold up. That was the main thing last year. We played with like 8 different formations up front. So it's hard to get any chemistry. But I think this year they'll stay healthy. Aaron Rodgers will right the ship, and green and white skies. What does that Stephen A say? Orange and blue skies? No, it's green and white skies.
Oh my God.
Funny enough, the Bills are predicted to win the same amount of games. They got them at 10-7 also.
10-7? 12-7, the Bills? Damn.
Did they really improve though?
The Kincaid
that's
thing
the
was nice.
question.
I think it did. Dalton Kincaid was a nice ad. That's a nice pick.
It was. I mean,
that's gonna help them. Diggs still there. Gabe is still there.
Yeah, you saying Gabe like that guy is hit or miss.
Last year he was. I mean, he is hit or miss. Yeah, he hasn't had consistency
His whole
yet.
career he's been hit or miss.
How
Everybody
much they throwing him the ball?
How many times is he gonna catch it?
Because that's always a hands problem.
Yeah.
I gotta look at the drops. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm serious. I mean, I'll take your word for it because he's in your division, so I'll take your word for it. But and I'm sure Tony is vigorously looking it up right now as we speak. But I don't know, man. I mean, the Bills have a culture that's already been set over the years. They've got the better quarterback between Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. The better quarterback, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
The defense is, they still got, Vaughn coming back after his injury, and the D-line's been really good. The secondary is not as good, sure, but I think they kept Poyer. I think they kept him. I don't think he left. Yeah. So, it's a toss up. It's in division. You guys probably split. The games there because the Jets are better and they will win a lot. They will win at least 10 games. I think at least 10 games is kind of the way I see it. I think maybe at that 10 marker it might be a fair judgment of it all. At this point, I think the Patriots their defense is going to be nasty and very annoying to deal with after adding that kid from Oregon. So their backfield's gonna be crazy. They just find DBs on the street, right? So I don't know. I have a hard time. It's always hard to predict. But if we're gonna do a very fair and balanced analysis of what this could look like, I say both teams will run 10 games. Both teams win about 10. I think the Bills win 11 games. I think they know what they're doing. Is they've got their program set. It's part of the luxury of having a coach there for so long and having the same message. Like this is new. This is new for Saleh. Saleh has to get used to having a quarterback who's actually good. That's not easy. It's not easy. Getting up and knowing your quarterback is an ass. That's hard. That's hard.
He could be more aggressive. Like, how many times do we have to?
Is he going to be more aggressive? How many coaches should be more aggressive in situations and aren't aggressive though? Miles, that you act like that's not a thing. It's a thing. These guys don't pull the trigger on fourth and short situations. And Saleh is a conservative dude. Saleh is a Trump guy. So I think he's going to be real conservative in fourth and short. That's all I'm saying.
I think he's going to trust his guy. Zach Wilson, yeah, you got to be conservative. That guy sucks. But Aaron Rodgers, he's a different story. I trust him 4th and 5.
4th and 5, he with John stopped him 4th and 5 in London. That's all I'm gonna say. We have his number. I can't wait for that Giant-Jets game. I cannot, and I hope that both teams are fully healthy. There's no nonsense. I cannot wait. And that's all Giants home game, I believe. I might get tickets. No, I'm not gonna get tickets. I don't like you.
We can go to that game. I think there's a Chick-fil-A right by MetLife.
If you haven't got your Chick-fil-A by then, that's sad.
Oh, I'm getting it. I know where you live now.
We're going to close out with this one. So we're going to do 2 teams, an episode. We're going to look at each week, choose a couple games that we see that we are interested in. We are not the Joe Button podcast. We are not doing 4-hour episodes. So we will not be breaking down every single game. We will not be breaking down every single matchup in each episode. So we'll break it up in each episode. And it's a long time leading up to when this actual season starts. So it'll be more than enough for y'all to get y'all football fixed till it starts. Week 1, what some of the biggest games or the biggest matchups that y'all looking at from this week 1 schedule that's been dropped out? One for me, Green Bay at Chicago. Not so much the teams, but that quarterback matchup. Jordan Love's first start going against Justin Fields with a couple more weapons to help him out. I want to see that matchup. That's in Chicago, week 1.
Eh,
I mean,
That's
you got Cowboys Giants. Week 1.
the Cowboys are like just most exciting matchups.
Yeah.
Cowboys Giants is it gonna be a movie at an 8:20 for sure. The ball lock in, and that game will be as lopsided as has been in years past. So it's gonna be fun. Lions Chiefs is sneaky good game week 1 that I heard about.
Yeah, that's opening night, Thursday night.
Thursday night. Is that the Amazon situation?
Yeah.
I hate them, yo. I'm not, Stream East.
No, it's on NBC. Never mind.
All right, thank God. I was like Stream East because I ain't. I'm not buying Amazon.
Honestly, Dolphins Chargers looks like that one could be a shootout.
That's a good game.
Yeah.
That's a
You
good
got two of
game.
the top young quarterbacks, two of the quarterbacks from that same draft class that everybody's going to keep comparing each year.
There's no comparison
I mean,
between
there's
them.
no comparison, but each year they go, that's what you do with the draft
Yeah.
class. You compare everybody that was drafted that year. And right now, Herbert's got the edge, but I think Tua can start to creep over him. And it starts with this one. I still think they're the third best team in the division, but we don't live in Miami, so I don't have to deal with those guys.
So you say. Post that and look at the comments. Maybe you'll get some Miami hate. Because every time I talk about anything, people seem to hate anything I say. Right? So you could talk about anything. If it's Scottish, the bowling team, and these motherfuckers. So I don't know. But
I am interested also in 2 more matchups, and it's really just the quarterback play. Baltimore home against Houston, just to see Lamar back in the jersey, just to see with Zay Flowers, Odell, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman. I want to see how that looks week 1. Hopefully, the Ravens and Lamar get off to a hot start again. That hasn't been the problem for them, honestly, in the last couple of years. It's Lamar hasn't been able to finish the seasons. They've been getting off to hot starts. And I am very intrigued to see how Anthony Richardson does that first game of the week against Jacksonville at home.
I'm rooting for him. I think he's going to get 100 yards rushing for sure.
Oh, that's going to be a rough game for him. I don't know if that's going to go the best. That's just me. I don't think he should be playing right away. And I know they don't have film on him, so that's the advantage. But I mean, you're asking a lot. Jacksonville's defense is good. They're good, right? There's another year of additions they've added, and they traded back a couple times and got defensive players. I think they'll be better. So good luck with that one. They better run the ball a lot, including running him. You better get used to running in between the tackles. You're gonna get the true black quarterback experience with Anthony Richardson in year 1, especially week 1, because throwing it could be weird. That could be a little tough situation. We'll see though. I'm rooting for the guy. He's a nice guy.
Too.
Oh yeah, he'll be great. It's fantasy stuff, all that. He'll be great for all that stuff. But we'll see. I think John Taylor's gonna get a lot of touches that game. That's all I'm gonna say. And that game's gonna be low scoring. I have a feeling that's gonna be the case too. Those games are always low scoring in division.
I see that happening, but that's week 1. We'll touch on the other weeks, all that good stuff. Playoffs, next round tomorrow. We'll be looking towards that. All those game 6s, probably no game 7s. Talk about that next week, all that good stuff. But you already know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Bench mob, we out. Peace.
Peace.